In outsourcing, I really recommend that you have very clear, written out expectations of what you want. What are your needs? What do you need accomplished? Having them provide you with a contract, or you providing them with a contract or statement of work. Get it written, have it really clear. Because what happens is, I told you I wanted you to do this. Where's the record? Where's the backup? Where's the information? And as you know, and I know, there is too much information flying around. So if it's not written down, it's gone. Promises, promises, promises. No, write it down. Show me your needs, show me your expectations. Be really clear. And if you state it, and you have a sense that maybe it could be clearer, go back and reiterate. Talk about it a little bit more. Rephrase it if necessary. I find frequently when I rephrase my needs and expectations, I'm able to root out the fact that they aren't actually the right person for the job. Understanding that your website and these tools that you're using are your face to the public, so understanding the importance of that will help you make the right decision. But you have to find a reputable contractor. Take a look at their platforms. Take a look at what they're doing. So let's say you're going to hire a social media ninja, my favorite term. You want to bring in somebody to manage your social media communications. Yes, take a look at their Facebook. Take a look at their LinkedIn. Ask them to give you their platforms. Do your own research on them. Ask for referrals and references. The numbers of followers that they have is not the most important feature. Just because somebody has 4,000 Twitter followers doesn't mean there's any quality there, doesn't mean they're doing it right. You can buy followers. It doesn't mean you've earned them. So take a look at their traditional resume if they still have one. Use LinkedIn if they're on LinkedIn. Look at all of their platforms. Take a look, ask questions, challenge them. My first job interview, what would you do if an alien walked into your store? Love that question. Ask them some off-the-wall questions. Test them. See what they say. What happens if somebody challenges you online? The reaction, the response, is just as important as the actual answer, how they deal with it. So retaining your intellectual property and source material. Understanding that this is a new world, yes, but the rules still apply. Intellectual property and copyright rules and laws are more important than ever because it's so easy to borrow or steal somebody else's material. So working with a contractor that is on the up and up, that creates their own material and or understands the importance of citing their source, making sure that they have permission to use the graphics, the images, and the words, tremendously important. This is part of that challenge section. How do you get graphics? Where do you get those from? And if they say, oh, I just skim them off of Google, big red flag. There are laws, and you will be the one who is sued if you steal something. There are websites out there now that what they do all day long, their job is to look for copyright photos. The Beatles, as an example. If you were to post a picture of the Sgt. Pepper's album on your Facebook profile, who cares? You took a picture of it, right? The Beatles care. Their lawyer cares. You will be sued and you will get a cease and desist letter. There are companies that all they do, and they have the tools to do it, looking for copyrighted photos. So know for a fact that the Beatles are pretty tough on that. So it should be yours. Intellectual property, if you see a picture of the Beatles that you really like, see if you can mock the photo. That's my suggestion. If you want a picture of a bridge, go find a local bridge and take the picture yourself. But ask that contractor how they are going to deal with that kind of a situation, what their rules are, and how they deal with it. Now we're looking at offshore or onshore. Is it important for you to see them? Is it important for you to be able to look them in the eye? This is an online world. There's a tremendous amount of resources that you have that are not local, that are not close, but may be amazing. One feature you need to look at when you're going offshore is cultural differences, language barrier. Frequently, copywriting and content production is outsourced. The problem there is if you are outsourcing to Elance. Elance is a wonderful service. You can get a bid on having a blog written about how to build an engine if you wanted. Very low cost, but what you get back could very well be disjointed, poor grammar. For them, it may work, but as an example, the English language is different from region to region. You know, you've got British English, you've got Australian English, you have American English, which is different than English in the South or New York or the West. Those are all things you need to take into account. When you outsource offshore, what comes back might not be to your standards. So making sure that when you outsource, that the product that comes back is appropriate for you. You do need to consider maintenance. They need to maintain those accounts, frequency, accuracy, what kind of changes need to happen. If you're building a website and you hire a website designer, do they do maintenance? This becomes a big issue, specifically in website design, because generally designers don't maintain. They don't go together. This is a huge consideration. This will cost you a lot of money if you're not real clear on your expectations when you go into this. I found a web designer that does offer maintenance. It is rare. So make sure when you have that website designed, or you sit down in that consultation and say, I want my website to be informational. I want it to have a community. I want it to have e-commerce. I want it to have customer service. I also want to make sure you're around to update it. Oh, I don't do that. Well, maybe they're not the right person for you. Maintenance is important. Many people are locked out of their own websites and can't change their phone number, can't change their address, can't do anything. So make sure that your expectations are very clear in the upfront. What kind of changes, any redundancy that needs to happen, or standards. What kind of standards? Again, if you have compliance issues, what are your compliance? When you are building a website, if you are a financial planner, does that website designer that you hire understand your individual specific and very legal compliance issues? If they only build websites for spas and dog walkers, then maybe you should find a website designer that works with the financial industry. They're going to understand and be set up and ready to go for that. The beauty of working with a contractor that works consistently with the same fields is that for them, they know all of those features. They know that the website needs to be designed a certain way. It needs to have the disclaimer at the bottom of every single page. They're specific. Now, if you hire the website designer that dog walkers and casinos and window washers, great. But what you're going to do is you're going to be paying that person to learn about your compliance. Learning does not mean success. So make sure that you hire the right person for your job. There's something else to consider. Do you need a big, huge company that has 14 people on staff, 27, 800 people on staff? Do you want a very small company? You only need a 1 or 2 shop? Online, freelance, these are things to consider. Now, if your needs are you need lightning fast response from your tech support, then that big firm might be appropriate. If you like to go local, as they say, then hiring a vendor from your town makes great sense for you. Understanding what your preferences are and what your needs are going to help you make that decision. But knowing that a big firm can provide something that small firms can't, then of course the small firm is going to know your name. They're going to know your dog's name. They might send you a birthday card that's actually written in ink. We do offer online sample contracts, among other documents. Why it's important, you may or may not use them. Why it's important that you know that they're available to you is that it will give you an idea of what a contract looks like. They could hand you a contract, but it may be omitting huge areas of consideration. So a sample contract is going to give you some ideas of the things that you need to think about, obstacles you may encounter, problems that may come up, and questions that you need to be aware of or you need to ask. So take a perusal of those and they're available for you.